Hello everyone guys, this is Love or the Throwaway Modeler, and today I have another box review for you guys. This time I'm going to be reviewing Dragon's 1 in 44 scale kit of the Leopold main railway gun. So as mentioned, this is 1/44 scale kit in their mini armor edition. This one does not contain the aluminum gun barrel though, so if you're looking to see that, you're not going to see it here. This is the new re-edition of their railway gun, model kit number 14131. So you can build this in the dark yellow or the panzer gray camo scheme, and you do get the crew of the gun. Here on the back side, you can see the paint schemes. So yeah, the dark yellow with, I think that's brown, I think, and the classic railway stuff, and the classic Panzer Grey one. You do get artillery, as mentioned before, along with some artillery pieces. Quite a few decals as well, which is always welcome. I should mention that you do actually get the railway parts, which is a very nice addition, especially if you want to make a small diorama. So, yeah, that's about it for about the outside. Let's look at what the kit offers inside. So these are all the parts. There's actually quite a few of them. It's tough to fit them all in the camera in the shot. So yeah, here are your railway parts, the decals and instructions right here, and here are the plastic parts of the kit. Here is the extra parts of the artillery crew and some gun shells, but we'll take a look at that later on. First of all, the parts themselves. Before opening any of the packages, I should mention that the parts, actually the sprues, are really flimsy. There's no real sprue guard to protect the parts from being damaged, and I've seen some pieces, either get damaged from, just being in the bag themselves, which is quite cramped. As you can see, it's not really that big of a box, and the bag itself is it's not the best of quality. It looks like it's been sitting around in a warehouse for a few years, which it probably has. But the parts are important. So here are all the parts. There's no real sprue, as you can see. It's just all kind of there, which is kind of fortunate since I do fancy myself having a sprue to organize a bit, but there's not too many parts, so okay. I haven't seen any parts that are heavily damaged. The only damaged part I could think of is this one, where the plastic kind of got, loosened up a bit right here. But I'll see about the instructions and what they say. Under that, all the pieces are in good shape. So let's take a look at some of the sprues. So this is the top of the railway carriage itself. It looks really nicely detailed. Similar to the Panzer IV, I'm really surprised at the detailing they've done in this scale, 1/44 scale, to this kit. Really nice looking. There's some flash going on, but not too much, and some damage right here, probably from the actual sprue mounts. But nothing a little bit of cleanup shouldn't be able to fix. The other sprue is this other railway cart thingy. I'm not sure, I've never actually built a railway gun, so apologies for that. The details are very much present in all shapes, so yep, I zoomed in and focused a bit so you can see a bit better. Very nicely detailed all around. I'm very satisfied with the molding. There's also this smaller piece which is separate on its own sprue, which offers great detailing, and I think it will look great with washers on it, which I plan to do. These are the next two sprues. They contain the sides of the railway carriage itself and the gun mounts here. So the railway carriage side itself are really nicely detailed. It's a bit flat, but I'm not sure about the real thing. It looks alright to me in this scale. I'm happy that they've done the railways, the rails a bit thicker, but since then you can sand them down to the width you want them to be, since they're probably not really that thick. Um, Perhaps they are. Here's the other part, which we probably connect the other pieces to. The inside pretty barren. The other railway part, this one features the gun holder, rather nicely detailed. It's in two pieces, but since there's a little bit of a raised part up here, it should be fairly easy to sand down and putty up if there's any gaps. Same holder right here. These are the last two big sprues. This one contains all the smaller little bits and pieces, along with the railway undercarriage of the railway gun and the gun itself. So the detailing here is really nicely made. There's no flash, which is pretty good. But lack of the sprue guard. This should just just extend it right here, just to make things a bit better, especially since the details are so small. Uh, I think they should have done that. But the molding is really high quality, and you cannot blame them for that. Overall, I'm very satisfied. Oof, there are some really nasty sink marks right here. Oof, yeah. I was just overall, I'm really satisfied, but then I saw the marks, and yeah, they should have done this a bit better in my opinion. But this is the underside, so it probably won't be seen as much. The other sprue features the gun, and the gun is reasonably well molded in. Nothing too much going on here. They have hollowed out the gun, which is very something that I really like, since it would be a real pain for you to try to drill it yourself and then mess up perhaps, or not get a good width enough in there. Yeah, very nice indeed. Last order are the smaller sprues, if you can call them sprues. They just contain a few small pieces. This one contains all the small railway wheels and stuff like that. Nicely molded. Nothing much to say here. It's just two parts. This one contains something. I'm not sure what this is, personally. Perhaps the instructions will give us a bit better clue, but it looks reasonably well detailed, which is nice. And the last sprue. Oh, nice mesh detailing right here. Overall, nice all around. But yeah, that's all for the classic plastic parts. But we also have the tracks and the artillery crews themselves. So let's check them out. So here are the railway tracks. You get 7 parts in total, 4 end pieces and 3 main parts. What I have noticed is that you don't get parts for this version, which I probably should have realized this before, but this is a different model kit, actually a different marking. Since here we have this little yellow sticker, and that probably indicates that this is the dark yellow edition with the loose tracks and not the straight ones. So if you're looking for a straight railway part, find one with a gray sticker. But they did give us an extra railway link, which is very nice of them. Let's take a closer look. You can see, really nicely detailed. I found this detailing much better than the one on the kit, which is, I think, quite a bit funny, since the kit is the center line of the whole diorama experience and not the tracks themselves. You see, very nicely detailed wood texture and gravel one as well. Really nicely made. So next up are the artillery crew. So this is the last plastic part. This one contains the artillery crew as mentioned before, and some shells. You get quite a few shells actually with their propellant. So let's take a closer look. I'm gonna look at just the pieces on the sprue themselves and not this one which fell off by accident. So the tail crew themselves are real highlight of the kit. You can see compared to my blade edge, they're really small, but the details are all there. They all have the zippers, little zippers, the shades of their pants. It's everything modeled in, which I'm really surprised at considering the size of the kit itself. Same here. So really beautifully molded uh, units. Here, the gun and the propellant themselves, and some different shells too. This will be very nice to make and put them on the side or somewhere. Have a small vehicle carry them around. So that's all for the plastic parts, but we still have the decals and the instructions to look at. So let's do that. So here are the instructions and the decal sheet decal. The instructions themselves are really basic. It's only this. And this part is for the Panzer Gray version, which I've mentioned you don't actually get these parts. So let's take a bit of a look, just, not too much going on there. And it all shows the parts getting connected really clearly, which I like. I like the fact that they include the crane for the loading of the shells themselves. Oh, here's the part that got damaged for me. So it's a cart for probably loading the shells and the propellant. So yeah, really nicely all around. It won't be confusing to build the whole thing, I'm sure. We also have the decals, which I'm not gonna open. It's gonna be the same. So overall, nicely printed out. They're in white and black, depend on the version you're gonna make. The black decals, I don't actually see. Both markings here show the white decals, so probably some later variants, or depending on the contrast. But yeah, all the text is readable, as with classic Dragon kits. It's printed by cartograph, so there won't be any issues laying them down. They look to be in a bit of a matte finish, which I personally like. So yeah, that's about it for the kit. Now let's hear my closing thoughts. So what I think of the kit. So despite its flaws with the unfortunate pin marks and the bad packaging, I really like the kit. The detailing is on point, and it's a railway gun for 8 euros. You can't go wrong with for 8 euros, especially for not for a dragon kit of all things. Um, it's a great conversation piece once you finish it, and I think it will look great with all the details that you actually have on the kit. I really like the addition of the artillery crew, and if you can get it actually with the aluminum barrel, get it for 100%, since it's going to be a much pleasant experience all around. It's only 8 euros as I said, but it's really hard to get because I haven't seen it anywhere available for around a year. So yeah, that's about it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.